You want to talk about a coffee shop that puts the small in small business? This is the place, but the following is not small, it's huge. Joe, we love your business, Campgrounds. And of course, if people want to get some of your coffee or baked goods at the farmer's market, it's like, this is a cult following. Lines,
like you wouldn't believe. We're always so grateful, but we just can't believe it. Who stands in line for half an hour for a coffee? But it's really awesome.
Well, what is it about your coffee?
I think there's a few things about it. I think it's the community vibe that we kind of put out there for sure, because it's usually my wife and I that are kind of there, and we get to know people really well. And then it's also like all of our syrups are house made, and they're made with like actual ingredients that you can pronounce, and they're super simple. Like this is probably one of our more popular ones, and it's lavender honey, and that's all that's in it. There's local lavender and honey from Arizona.
I'm obsessed with this because every time I get coffee, I'm so tempted by the flavored syrups, but I feel like it's just taking a hose of corn syrup and artificial flavoring and putting it directly into my body. Your lavender honey, the lavender is local.
It's local, yeah.
And the honey's from the Honey Man.
Yep.
So
definitely.
there's nothing else in there?
And there's nothing else in there. We thin it out with a little bit of good old Prescott filtered tap water, and that's about it. So it's as local as you can get. And that's one reason that we started doing it, was because of all those reasons. People want just cleaner stuff.
And when you decided to start this business, you'd been a teacher, then you'd been a stay-at-home dad. How did you become the coffee man?
We kind of reflected back. My wife and I were talking about it, and she's like, what was your favorite job that you've ever done? And I thought back to college 20 years ago. And I was like, I worked at Starbucks for the longest time, and I loved it. I loved being a barista. And she's like, well, then let's do that. And one thing led to another. We found this old camper up in Winslow, Arizona.
I've heard of it from the Eagles song.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Tore it apart, built it back up into this cool, we actually named her Jolene.
Oh, I love it. Dolly
she's
Parton
a part of
fans.
she's a part of our family now. And
okay, so this camper is Jolene?
This is Jolene.
Oh,
Some
I love
people
it.
think that that's my wife's name, but it's not.
You love them both.
Yes, definitely. One a little more than the
One a
other,
little more, but
you know,
we're not going to make
we're not
you
gonna
say
not
which
on TV.
ones. Your baked goods are also local and very special.
We have a guy here locally. He actually moved into town right during COVID from the East Coast, he and his partner. And he started making baked goods, and they're just some of the most delicious baked goods that we've had, that we've ever tried. So we were like, hey, we need to put those on our trailer during the week. And he shows up at the farmer's market right next to us, so you can get a bagel or a croissant and then your coffee. It's like perfect.
And then that sets your weekend off on the right course.
And that's exactly
Your latte flavors are special and interesting. There's a cinnamon sugar. And you have made one that's not on the menu?
Yeah, we usually don't put it on the menu until closer to the summer, but it's probably our more popular one. And anytime people see...
I need to try it.
Whenever somebody sees the peach tea, it's called our peach tea cobbler, and whenever somebody sees that kind of pop up, they get excited about it. So we take a little bit of black tea flavored with peaches, a little bit of cinnamon, a little bit of vanilla, all house made, and then we mix it all together.
So there's no artificial peachy syrup in here?
Nothing. It's brewed with real peaches.
Okay. Wow. It's like a burst of peachness.
Yeah.
Peachiness?
Peachiness?
Is that
a
word?
That. We're going to make it a word.
Peachy-keeniness? So good. And I know, you're closed now, but we've been here setting up, and I just saw all your regulars come, and you knew their names, and you knew their order, and you chat them, and that's the vibe you're talking about, communal thing here.
Yep. When we first moved to town, we didn't know anybody. We moved here about 5 years ago. Didn't know anyone, and just realized we want to be a part of this community, and what better way? Obviously, we set up coffee. Everybody either likes coffee or knows somebody
if they don't, Joe, what are they doing?
Why?
I
I judge them.
I do
but,
too, harshly. And you should.
Yes. So we just got to know people that way, and it was COVID. So nobody, this was 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago. So
that was a lonely time for a lot of people.
It was a big deal for us to bring people together.
I don't want to get too deep for you, but before we go,
yes,
what do you think coffee shops in general, and even a small business like yours, mean to people in 2024?
I think that it's a way for people to still connect while being out in public. It's a safe space, especially when you create something like this where it's open air, you're outside, you're rubbing shoulders with other people that you might not know anything about them, but you're together and you share one common thing where you like to drink good coffee and tea.
Okay, so if you want to drink good coffee and tea like I'm doing right now, and you need some Joe, you come see Joe.